said, well, we can record it and send it to you. I said, you can try to hop in whenever you can get on, but she's kind of having a problem trying to find the way to get in. I'm not really sure. It was a pretty easy button. So.
Okay, I
Okay.
found it.
Yeah. All right. Well, welcome. We're going to go ahead and kick it off.
Yeah.
This is a live online. So really, we're excited to welcome you as business owners, CEOs, people in charge, making waves. And it's so important that you get the support and the kind of just like this community feel of not being alone in this journey. Nicole and I are going to talk about kind of where we stand. We came and we put together an event like this. So Nicole, kick it off.
Okay, Suzanne, so you know me. I am the owner and CEO of Bear Branded. I started my business with the intent of supporting small businesses trying to establish an online presence. I think that the website is one of the most, if not the most, important marketing and branding tools and a portfolio of your work that you can possibly have. So having that online presence is just crucial in today's day and age. And I'm a Squarespace Circle member, so is Dana. I'm a Squarespace expert, and I am a Shopify partner. So I have some great tips for you in here that are going to be able to easily integrate into your current site, some things that are going to really help you. And Dana has some amazing, amazing knowledge from her extensive and extremely impressive professional career. So I'm going to let her introduce herself as well.
All right. Well, Shauna just came on. Hello. I just want to make sure it's audio. If you want to share your video, we'd love to see your video too. That'd be great. Well, welcome everyone. I am, there we go. Dana Magnus. I am the CEO and creative brand strategist here at the Marketing Brand. I'm located in Chicago, Illinois, and I work primarily with entrepreneurs and business leaders who really want to connect their personal and their professional mission together, package it up into one beautiful marketing plan where we uncover target audience and message. And also I work as a Zipline partner. So I'm a partner with each and every one of my clients to ensure that what we come up with creatively is being implemented so they're ready to launch and go out into the world with not only a clear expectation of what they want out of their business, but what they want out of their clients, and thus marketing, right? So thus becoming a marketing brand. I've been working with Nicole for, it has to be more than 2 years now. We kind of share and split and kind of divide and conquer when it comes to helping our clients really understand what they need, right? How to put it together, and most importantly, giving them the tools and the accessibility and making them succeed in their business. So all these things not only are beautiful and amazing, but for the most important part is that they're empowered to manage their business easily, inexpensively, and being able to move forward to their next step without feeling burdened by these big challenges and overcomplicated processes of marketing and branding.
Mm-hmm. I think it's funny that in my picture on there, I'm not wearing glasses, and now I am. And in your picture on there, you are wearing glasses, and now you're not.
That's so true. That's so true. So
okay.
We wanted to open up this with goals, and Nicole's going to kick it off too on what we're going to be talking about tonight. And remember, this is very conversational, very much so. We're working on bringing your input in because we're here to serve you. So you tell us what you want to hear.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Suzanne, feel free to ask any questions along the way.
Okay.
So the goals of tonight's webinar workshop, the reason that Dana and I wanted to do this presentation for a live online, we have 3 main goals that we want to accomplish. So the first one is really taking advantage of all of the things that your website can offer you. Oh, hi, Sean, you're on here. Oh, so good to see you. There you go. Hi, welcome. So we're just talking about the goals of the webinar really fast. So yeah, basically learning how to use your website to its fullest potential and really take advantage of all of the things that a website can do besides just making a presence, throwing it on the internet, and letting it hang out there.
Yeah.
The second one is to devote some time each week to CEO time. And I'll talk about this more later on. I have a tendency to go on and on about CEO time because I think it's really important. But dedicating that CEO time. And the third one is feeling empowered to be able to scale your own business on your website instead of having to stress about not knowing how to do these things or feeling like you have to go to a professional. Just being able to really understand how to make these own changes on your own site. So those are our main three goals with trying to teach you how to be alive online and not just stagnant, hanging out online.
Yeah. There's a difference between having a website and using a website. And so that's really what we're to show you it's not that complicated.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I'm going to kick it off with branding because that's kind of what my jam is. I love talking about the essence of what we need to know about a brand, how people perceive a brand, how it's not just a logo, it's not just a color. Think about Steve Jobs, and I think he's the best example of not only a personal brand, but also a brand in our world representing Apple. And so what people think of is they think of an innovator, someone different, and just overall every single piece of his work when he was a CEO at the time was just simple, like keeping it simple, like oversimplifying everything and just keeping things just straight to the point, innovative, moving forward and moving differently. He actually wore the same exact outfit every single day, which was a black turtleneck and black slacks. And that was because he wanted to make way of just not only identifying himself in that regard, but also because it was so important that he focused on his goal, which was innovation and not having to make the decision of what to wear in the morning. So
I wish I could do that.
Right? And so he kind of coined this this facade that all of us have in the back of our mind. And we all have our own definition of Apple or Steve Jobs, and we have our own kind of perspective on that. So I wanted to first kind of bring that up because sometimes we think of a brand as just like, you know, oh, it's this color, it's that color, it's this typeface, it's this type of photo, or whatever it is, like a filter on a photo. But we're forgetting the most important part is it is all about just consistently and showing up the same way all the time, as thorough and as focused as possible. So how does that relate to our websites? Is visual impact, right? We have what's known as a very, very short span, attention span for people in our world. And if we're not having high-end, really consistent visuals, people start to really get confused. If they're going to, like say I do a lot of workshops and I host a lot of events, and it's important that the touch points that I am creating as a marketer and as a CEO of my business, I have to make sure that everything is consistent with one another. So I gave a little snippet of an example here between my email marketing, my Eventbrite workshop kind of link, and then also on my website, I have a page that has a similar look and feel and brand, the branding element. So when somebody sees this kind of coral red and the way that the text is laid out and everything has an emphasis in a color scheme, I'm already like skipping 10 steps with trying to introduce what I'm doing or trying to get familiar with people, because they're starting to recognize in the back of their head, oh yeah, that's the girl who runs, the branding workshops and helps people with marketing, and everything's very succinct and clear and get to the point. So I'm creating a brand out of just pure consistency. And that's what I want out of all of us in our websites to have, from the front page of our websites to the glance that people see on our social media, and all the way through every single marketing touch point that we have. So it's pretty clear that when we have a product image, I know there's Etsy sellers on here and where people do have their own maker shops who are, between you, Sean, and Suzanne, is that from your product images to your social media pages, and also any kind of email opt-ins, like whatever the journey is that the client has before they spend $1 with you, that's the experience of marketing. And I feel like that's
all your
so
packaging as well.
and your packaging, of course.
Mm-hmm.
So like all of these things being consistent and put together is really going to help you leverage not only your business, but more importantly, create this long lasting impression that you have. And how do we really translate that into our website is simply just keep consistent. A lot of you have, put together a plan, a website with Nicole or myself, and she's really, really with Bear Branded. What they do is they really are so cohesive on making sure that everything ties together, that the message and the flow and the videos and the images and everything stays consistent. But my promise and my kind of like just challenge for you all is that how do you now make that, I guess, scale, and how do you take it from your website and making it more consistent as you go out through your marketing? Well, it's as simple as just following a few of the rules we're going to have here. So we're going to dive right in. I hope you guys are ready with your websites up. If you have your laptops with you. Yes, Suzanne.
I just said, oh.
Oh,
you
no.
don't have it up. Oh, no.
Well, Sean, I'm on it. Like I'm watching it and listening from my phone because I can't do both on the computer for God knows whatever reason.
Yeah.
But I don't know how to. You're like all over my screen, so I don't know how to get to a new window.
So what you can do is you can minimize Zoom. And it's like on the top left, or if you're in a Windows, it's the top right. And you
can hit escape key. That might help too.
Yep, if we're in full screen.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, let us know when you get there. Okay. Sean, I know you're kind of on your phone too. I want to make sure that you're able to.
Yeah, Dana, try to unmute her too, because it looks like she's still muted and you might have control over that.
Here we go.
There we go. Okay. I hear some audios. Sean, can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you guys.
Yay! Okay.
The baby's screaming because I'm eating ice cream, so.
Aww.
Well, if you have to remute yourself, it's in the bottom left-hand corner. There's a little like microphone icon, and if you click on that, it'll mute it.
Okay.
So if you feel like, you have to mute, you can do it that way, but I think you're fine. I don't hear anything too crazy yet.
Okay. So there we go. We spoke to. All right, we'll mute you there, Sean. It's okay. So what we're gonna do is play like a little game of, we can all recall when we were probably the size of the little baby back there in Sean's car. Just kind of thinking about the game and the little like work, little game of comparing what's one of these things is not like the other. So if you had your tabs open, go ahead and kind of take a peek at your Instagram. And yes, you can load Instagram on your computer. You can do instagram.com/whatever your handle is. Little pro tip there. Your Facebook page, if you have one, your Shopify site, your website. And I kind of want you all to just take this moment to take a clear look at what's similar and what's different. And if any of you would like to share some observations, it's okay. We're in a safe space today that we're just going to be like, we don't have to sell to each other and like we're perfect all the time. This is like CEO, like roundtable time where we're all here to share what's working, what's not, and maybe what we may want to tweak or change or bring to the center a little bit more cohesively. So anyone have, between Suzanne or Sean, any breakthroughs, any ideas, any questions that you're looking at right now as you're pulling up all of your touch points online?
And if you have any problem pulling these up right now, this is also an exercise that you can do in the recorded version of this. You can always pull these up and look at them and go, oh man, I am missing something, or, oh, this actually looks really good. And this is something that, you might also do once every month or so to make sure that you're really staying on the same page and you're not going crazy on Facebook looking wildly different than Instagram or wildly different than your website. So this is something you can do more than once for sure as well.
Suzanne, you have something. You have a question. You have something you want to share. I know it. And you're muted, by the way.
Yeah.
Hold on. Where is my mouse?
Okay. There we go. She's back.
What do you see?
Did I do that? None of mine are the same. They're not. They're not the same.
Do you have anything that's similar? What's different about it? Let's share.
Like my name is about the only thing.
That's similar. Hey, that's a start.
The photos are similar. Because like I have an Etsy and then the Instagram and then my Shopify. And my little face is the same. But otherwise, like on my Instagram, there's like no banner, and my Shopify banner is not the same as my Etsy banner. So I'll have to sort that.
Okay. Well, I wouldn't say that so maybe I'm speaking a little bit out of my turn here, but I wouldn't say that the idea is that they look identical.
Right.
You know, obviously Instagram doesn't have banner images the way that Facebook does or the way that your website might, but the idea would be, you know, are the images similar on both sites? Is the message that you're trying to convey similar? You know, looking at your Instagram that I have pulled up right here, right now, and looking at your website, I would say that it is pretty similar. You've got a lot of your turquoise, your tough girls featured, and I would say that that is a pretty similar look between those two platforms. I know your Facebook is similar as well, because you're probably just sharing on Instagram and Facebook at the same time, yeah?
Correct.
Yeah. So I would say that you're probably not too far off. There's definitely going to be some little things that you can go in and optimize, but I wouldn't say that you're totally out of the realm of cohesive.
So Suzanne, just to give you some help and guidance too, is that I guess the point of the branding exercise too is to really be aware on saying, if you're going to start posting things or putting some messaging out there, that we want to have the full intent that we are one. You know, I know that people approach Instagram differently than Facebook because there are different types of targets that we try to kind of reach on those platforms. But most importantly, when they come back to you and your brand and your experience and your packaging and there's just all the ways that you touch your clients in a way that's very special and intentional, that there is cohesion and there is things that are just as fresh. And two, I think, I don't know if anyone kind of noticed or brought it up yet, though, it's, you know, it's kind of to looking at all the touch points that are live right now and saying, is everything up to date at the same time? So if somebody's going to your Instagram and they're like, you haven't posted anything since 2014, that is probably the one touch point that they go to. And I say touch points because in marketing, we have 7 to 13 quality touch points that a customer in their journey will experience before actually opening up their wallet to you. This is just data that we've collected over the years. And so that could be something that completely stops them in their tracks and quits that journey with you, and they move on to a competitor. So each and every live, which is active touch point that's out there, needs to be congruent with the others that are just as alive, because think about it, we're only as strong as our weakest link here. Okay. So Sean, anything that you want to add, my dear?
She's muted. She's muted. There we go.
She's live. Well, it's kind of the same. My website is just kind of a portfolio of pictures of jewelry. It really sucks, but I have a website that's getting worked on right now by Nicole. So
yay!
Yeah. So I'm excited about that because I just now started getting serious about trying to make everything match up. The past probably about 6 months, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
So.
And do you feel like you feel like you're confident of the new look with being able to kind of like have an idea of how everything's supposed to mesh together? I mean, we just want to be here to support you too. And like, do you feel like you have a good idea of what you want it to look like in the visuals?
Yes, I got really serious about taking pictures, so I take my own pictures. I take them on outside, so they all look about the same.
Awesome.
I'm sorry, the baby's screaming.
Oh, it's fine.
Yeah. I mean,
Okay.
I'm still learning. I just now started getting real serious about it. Like yeah, there's so much stuff that I have to learn. That I have learned,
Well,
that I'd
we're
have no
now,
idea about.
we started with the storm, and we're going to clean it up from here and get you more focused on what to actually do, because I think it's good to just draw attention to first, like what the public, that outer ring, is seeing in us, and then we're going to reel it back in as we go.
Mhm.
So awesome. So I think that we had some really good breakthroughs here. So my second tip for you all is a really fun, and just, I have so much fun and I enjoy simplifying my life when I don't have to worry about creating communication with my clients, especially like now that I've gone out and I've marketed and I'm putting really great social media content out there. And now it comes to the time where they're following up with me and they're like wanting more information. Can I get a show of hands of how many people like use a form or a contact form on their website right now?
Raise your hand too, Suzanne. You have one.
You can't see me because.
There we go. I see you. It's a pretty picture there. Sean, do you have a website contact form, opt-in form of any sort?
I'm unsure. I just know I message each customer individually on Facebook and Etsy, and it's crazy. Like, it's
Yeah, I
overwhelming.
don't think she has anything right now because we're still working on her site,
Building
so that
the
new one
site.
hasn't gone. But you will in the future.
You will.
Yeah.
All right. So this is going to not only change your world, like you're going to start making a lot more money because of this tip, and I guarantee it. So what I have been doing and teaching is really about simplifying the process of communication, because let's face it, when a client reaches out to us, how many times do we feel like we're like, oh my God, we're saying the same thing over and over and over to the same people? I mean, they're new clients, but we feel like, how can we just like bundle up what we need to say and leverage our website to give them the information they need? There are some pieces of content though that we do not want public on our website, right? Whether they're pricing, whether it's kind of some more intimate details that we want them to contact us first before we share with them. And so that could be because of competitors, or just we want to lure them into the next step of working with us before we give them that information so we can qualify them. So I have a really exciting tip for all of us, and it's linking back pages and linking more pages, like linking back to everything on our website. So let's kind of brainstorm and imagine a little something fun for a second, is that when we're thinking about our emails, okay, I know for me, clients have a few key issues or a few key like common questions. It's, okay, Dana, when's your upcoming events? Or how do I, how do I see what's going on and see everything in a big scale of what's going on? Or maybe like, how else do you work with your clients? And I maybe not have the answers that a first-time customer who's just visiting my website needs to see. So I don't need to put that on my homepage, and I don't want to overclutter my website with a bunch of links everywhere. But I'll have a couple pages that are hidden menu that I can just kind of quickly sort and size, and I can keep them in an Excel document ready to go. Or I use Bitly a lot. I love Bitly because I can track how many times each link was sent. So I can keep track, hey, if I'm on a week, each week I want to send out so many introduction call, invitations or something like that. I digress. So for instance, I'm going to show you a cool example because we're visual here. So I create customer pages for each and every one of my clients, because as a marketing strategist, and this is just my business model, I'm just sharing that as an example, is that I like to give them homework at the end of each strategy call. And I also like to give them the recording. So instead of me sending a really hefty email with all of their to-do notes, and there's also to the recording, and then like each week that we have a strategy call, that can get really lost in email. I created a beautiful page for each and every one of my clients that I can keep all the notes, all the recordings, all the shortcuts, all the resources on one page. And I'm constantly every week just sharing with them that same link that's just kind of bulking up. And it's almost like their little database of things to do. Now, if we're giving an example of, say, your Etsy shop, how many of you have an FAQs page that would really help people get to the next level? Do you have one, Suzanne?
I don't have any idea even what that is.
So frequently asked questions. So do you have a series of questions that clients come to you with the same pressing questions that you're like, yes, we do ship to Canada, or yes, we do have custom options available. I just think about how many emails that you go back and forth with clients, or types of communication that you wish they're like, can someone just go to one page and I just paste that link and they can just have all their problems solved and all the information in front of them?
I have really never had that problem. Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
That's a good thing. That's a good thing. But I'm trying to identify, is there anything in your business that you feel like you send people a lot of information, either via email, or I know Sean goes back and forth on Facebook all the time. Right?
Yes.
And
Yes.
It's like, how do you start to really put together what it is that you are saying all the time too frequently? And then how can we automate that into better pages on your website? Am I losing anyone here? Because I want to make sure that I'm clear and I'm not overcomplicating this. So please let me know. Give me some feedback here.
I'm with you. But I've just not had like these lengthy back and forth conversations. Like people will be like, well, can I get that in a size 20-inch chain? You know, it's not back and forth.
Okay.
Do you do customs, Suzanne?
I do. A lot of that back and forth happens on Instagram.
Yeah, that's what we're trying to basically find a way to communicate on a page instead. So imagine that a customer reaches out to you and they say, hey, we want a custom piece of jewelry. I want a ring that has turquoise. There's some things that you have to say for a custom. Maybe you accept 50% up front, or you accept the whole amount up front. It has a 2 to 3 week turnaround. You use 995 or 999 sterling silver, the basic things that every time you have to start a custom jewelry piece conversation with someone, you are saying, once, twice, 3, 4, 5 times to each individual person. And instead you could go, yeah, I'd love to create a custom piece for you. Here's a link on my site that explains everything about how custom pieces work. Take a look at this and then shoot me a message whenever you're ready to get started, and I would love to work with you. So it's just one message. Yeah.
Okay. I have another fun example too that I think everyone can really take away is, so you know how Instagram gives us one link on our website, like just one link? So we have to figure out what the heck is the most important thing we want to say on that link, right? And there's this beautiful tool called Linktree. But I say, what the heck? Why are we giving Linktree all the SEO? Let's give that to ourselves. Let's create our own Linktree with a beautiful page that's our website that has all maybe the shortcut buttons. And I don't know, Sean, do you know what Linktree is, or have you seen it before?
No.
It's like link.tree. It's basically a little pass through before. So say if I have, go to my website, check out my latest blog posts, join my Facebook group. Maybe the other one says, view my testimonials, and it's like a Yelp page. And there's all these different pieces to my touch points that I want to almost consolidate on one quick view, so people have a beautiful menu to go through after they pass through social media. So maybe on social media, you're really promoting something, or you're talking about an upcoming event, and you want to keep that front and center. But you don't want your homepage to be just your event that you have on your website. That's kind of ridiculous. So this is a nice way to even make like little shortcut pages that you can give people a nice little glimpse of. If they're coming from social media, you can even say, hey, welcome from social media. I'm so glad that you're connected with me. Here are a few ways that people like to get to know me. And you have like a link for your bio, and that's actually on your website. So you're passing them through your website in order to, again, create the value. I think we kind of, the whole purpose of this is like, we need to utilize our pages, because especially we're all on Squarespace and Shopify, and we have unlimited pages that are giving us credit having been on our website URL. So let's be creative and use them in interesting ways. I was a photographer for 10 years, and I'd have brides coming to me all the time like, hey, I want to see your packages. And so instead of always attaching a PDF, which was my packages booklet, I would just actually make that PDF embedded on a web page and just send them the link. That was so much easier for them. And I got the SEO credit, which is search engine optimization, which Nicole's going to talk about. But it's how we rank higher when people are Googling us and how we become more relevant. Cool. So any questions on that? Did that kind of spur any ideas? Does anyone have anything to add?
I have no idea how to do that.
Okay.
So Suzanne, right now you have a Linktree link because I think your URL got blocked by Instagram.
Yes.
TLDR, Dana, they thought that her link was spam.
Oh, no.
And so they prevented her from putting it in her bio, as well as sending it as a message, like sending it as a DM on Instagram. Yeah, it was the craziest thing I'd ever heard of. I didn't even know it could happen.
Oh, it happened.
Yeah, it happened. So it took us like a couple days, like a week or something, to figure out how to. Yeah, so finally we ended up setting her up with a Linktree and making the links in there so that she could post a Linktree URL. Yeah, and it didn't have her website URL, so that might be tricky for her unless Instagram has unblocked her, which, Suzanne, we could test. But we can.
I just have not,
check that out.
because you said don't touch it.
Yeah, I told her what happened was she did like a cross promotion with another woman, and that woman posted her link, and Suzanne posted that woman's link, and I think Instagram flagged that as some kind of
like a mass.
Yeah, exactly.
I would say that the best way out of that is just to keep giving credit to your URL. So continue to put out valuable content that people are going to be spending more time on your page. Just really up your ranking in terms of your website being looked at as more valuable and not a spam risk in Google. And that's going to be, if you come up with a couple blog posts that you're sharing that people are like in an email marketing campaign, you get people to go back to your site and spend some time on there. It's really going to show Google that you're a creditable website and you're more favored in their eyes, which they track every single day. So that's my little 2 cents into it. But that's a perfect segue, because Nicole is going to be talking about basic optimization.
That is a good segue. So both of you guys are, Suzanne, you have a Shopify store. Sean Marie, you're going to have a Shopify store. So I have snipped out some actual screenshot examples that you'll see later on in this that show specifically how to do some of this optimization for Shopify. But basically, the first thing that I'm talking about here is called SEO, which is search engine optimization, which Dana said a little bit earlier. And basically, like she said, what that means is that if I Google Midwestern tough girls jewelry, I should come up with Suzanne's site, as opposed to some other random website. Basically, those keywords should, in theory, lead me to seeing Suzanne's site as the highest search result versus anything else. So true SEO optimization is a long, difficult process. It involves constant targeting of specific keywords, social media campaigns. It's a little bit tricky to execute, but there are some easy things that you can do on your website that will help you. So we're going to talk about 2 things, I think, today that are going to make a big, big difference right now, as opposed to something that is protracted out over months and months and months.
You have remote control, so you can click.
Cool.
I think.
I don't really know. Let me see.
Just click forward. Let's see. We love learning. Oh, okay. I'll click for you.
Okay, thank you. I was clicking, it wasn't going anywhere.
Controls. Zoom is so funny. Yeah, it says give control to Nicole.
Yeah,
Guys,
it was
we
letting me
love
like
being
mouse
honest
around.
about like journeys on learning things, and Zoom has been a phenomenal tool, but sometimes quite a learning curve.
Yeah, it's a little tricky. Okay, so right here, we're going to see 4 things. 3 of them are actionable items. Alt tags is a great place to start, and this is crucial for you guys that sell jewelry because you have so many beautiful jewelry images on your sites.
Yeah.
Alt tags are basically the name of the image file on your website. So, for example, on my website, you'll see that image of me sitting in the coffee shop with the bear. And on my website, that image isn't named like IMG-0246 or something like that. It's named Bear Branded, Nicole Marks headshot or something like that. Branding photo shoot. Yeah, another example is on Dana's website.
sorry.
Maybe hers, that's okay. On Dana's website, hers might be called Dana Magnus Marketing Brand Photography as opposed to IMG 5827 or something. Basically, it's trying to optimize the image file names so that anyone searching for anything related to your name might come across that image and end up on your site, as opposed to not knowing what the heck it was called and not having that connection. And that's something that actually really helps search results. And later on, I'm going to show you how to actually do that in Shopify. So the next thing to look at is writing a little site description. Again, in a later slide, there's a screenshot that shows you where that is and how to write it. But basically, it's a little description of what your store is and who you do that is going to show up in search results when people search for certain keywords that might be in your little description. So, for me, it was creating strong, modern, online branded websites for small businesses and e-commerce sellers. And that's like a little short 1-sentence or 2-sentence thing that I can pop in for my page description. And potentially when someone searches one of those keywords, maybe they'll find me. So you'll see how to do that for your own site as well. For both of you guys, because I'm designing your websites or have designed them, the calls to action are already built in. This is something where if you had a different website platform, you might be able to take advantage of this tip right now. But basically, CTA stands for call to action. And it's something that someone visiting your website would see as they were scrolling through or shopping around that would prompt them to check out a piece of jewelry, learn more, book a call with you, purchase something. It is literally a call to action for them to make an action on your website. And I'm all about conversion-driven design. So is Dana. We're super focused on creating those touch points and those transactions and making it happen as opposed to just letting people get lost on your website, get frustrated, and leave. So those are super important, and those will be built into both of your sites. So my last super awesome tip that, again, we're going to see a screenshot of is Google My Business, which is a free tool that you can basically just set up yourself with a little Google My Business profile. Google sends you a verification code via mail, and then you have a Google My Business listing that pops up when someone Googles your name, and it's big and in your face right on the right side of the search results. You literally can't miss it.
Here, we're gonna scoop there now.
Yeah, perfect. So you'll see when someone searches Bear Branded, right on the right side there is this huge thing that has my business name, it has reviews, request a quote, my hours, my phone number, my website link, a picture. So it is this like impossible to miss tool of free advertisement. Like they don't have to click on your website to learn all these things. It's just in their face. They see your reviews, they see your website link, they see your phone number. It is a super, super awesome tool that Google offers you for free. So take advantage of it.
And I like how you even, and just to make a comment in here, I like how your location is North America.
Yeah, exactly.
and I know having your phone number can be cumbersome oftentimes, but we're in the business to get business, and you can opt out of putting your phone number in there and just your email.
Yes.
But there are a lot of really awesome tools now on our phones that tell us when there's a spam risk. So don't feel like you're putting your whole life and information out there, because apparently Nicole lives in North America and that's all we know.
Yeah, exactly. So I didn't want to tell them my personal address because I don't want people showing up at my house saying, hey, do you build websites? I'd be like, what are you doing here?
Yeah.
So I put my service area, meaning where I worked with clients, and it wouldn't let me put North America and Europe, or like it wouldn't let me put the whole world. So I just put North America so that I kind of grabbed all of those locations. But that way you don't have to put your home address on there. And just like Dana said, you don't have to put your phone number on there either. I do get a decent amount of spam calls. It's not horrible. It's not like I'm flooded every day with random callers. It's not like that at all.
Yeah.
So, but I know that a lot of you guys are really private about your phone numbers, so don't feel like you have to have it on there or no one will shop your business or anything like that.
Right. And
So
one last thing about it too is that the more you can build in getting reviews. So again, maybe after you sent out a client gift, and you sent out a client actual, like a product for your client, you can automate sending them a link, right? To say, I would love to get your feedback on how did everything turn out. We just want to make sure everything arrived properly. That could be a link though back to your website. And it's the link to submit a Google review, which is beautiful because now you just had them pass through your website, right? Go back to you and go back to you getting credit. And now they can, they feel like they're being heard and they're being touched on, right? Another way that you can market to them so they can get feedback and testimonial. And when you have great Google reviews, that says so much for your rankings as well to rise up. Just a little tip.
Yeah.
The other piece that you added here underneath was about the Shopify alt tags. How are we feeling right now? I know there's like a lot of brainy information going on right now. Do you guys need like a little break or any questions, or do you want us to keep going? Do you want us to skip over everything? Because I feel like we're talking a lot about like very cool things.
Yeah, I don't want to lose you guys. Let me know how you're feeling about all this stuff.
Yeah.
No, I'm good. Go ahead, Sweetie.
No, go ahead.
I'm good with it. This is all stuff I've researched on my own over about a year span, and Google actually kicked me off. I had a whole thing set up, and they basically butted me off and deleted my Google My Business.
Do you have the like an updated address or something that like did something happen with your address for whatever reason?
They tried to say that I was only an online business and I had to be a brick and mortar shop.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Oh, okay. So, I think I know what happened there. You probably set it so that you were verified using like you can choose when you submit Google My Business whether you're going to be basically wanting customers to your loan or online only, hiding the location. And that's kind of fairly new. That's only like the last 6 or 8 months or something like that.
Yeah, it got deleted about a year ago, I'm guessing, and I just kept fighting, and it was.
Now, is there, you know what I've been doing too for some customers, because MailChimp is an email server that requires your mailing address. And some of my clients, and I don't know if this is like awful or not, but like I know I can use my post office for business mail and then get a PO box if I need to. So that's an option if you're ever like really trying, if there's things that you have to, like I know, like I use my office space, which is kind of a general co-working space. But if there's like another business that you can use their address or even a post office and get a PO box, just so you have a physical address that you don't want to put your home address, we've been able to work around that a little bit, but I'm not sure if that's going to be adequate for you. Because
so
it's
Google,
very powerful.
It's very powerful, but Google won't verify to a PO box. I'll warn you about that right now. Yeah, they won't let you do that. But now they will let you verify as no address listed. So we could probably try to resubmit you. Yeah.
Yeah, they do a phone call on and just a phone call with the verification code. But to get around PO box, there are some post offices that even if you have a PO box, you can write the address of a post office and put unit and then that's your unit number is your PO box number. If you go to like a local, one of your local post office for local businesses, that's another way around it, but I'm not sure if that helps too. For your specifics, I don't know what you've done, Sean, to try to negate that, but that's good input. That it we can skip over that and continue on to the alt tags, and then we could probably work with you on that separately too to help you out with that.
What about you, Suzanne? How are you feeling?
I'm feeling just a little overwhelmed, but knowing that I can go back through this again and make notes. I'm just trying to breathe. So because I know Nicole knows this, but I have a war-related PTSD, and so I don't track, and I have like zero short-term memory, and okay, I wouldn't say zero, but there's not a lot of it there. So
it's a lot of info to digest at once.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, that's why Suzanne actually reached out to me and said, is this webinar going to be effective for me? And I said, yes, because it's going to be recorded and you can watch it as many times as you want, or at like half speed or something like that, so that you can really digest all of this at your pace. You could even watch 5 minutes of this at a time to make sure that you're feeling really comfortable with it. So if we're going real fast now, don't worry, because you'll be able to watch it however much you want later on.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
You rock. We're celebrating because this is kind of carving out, as we talked about in the main goal, is like every 6 months, you're going to have to kind of revisit some of these little like best practices. So this is like consolidating what you should do in 6 months in like 1 hour. So
yeah,
I hope that makes you feel a little bit better too.
Yes.
Okay,
yeah,
good.
this will be a super useful tool going forward.
So I know both of you are, we can probably, and Nicole, what do you think? This is just what Nicole was talking about with the alt tag and kind of just renaming. But I feel like because we don't have our websites up in front of us, we can probably skip this, but we're just going to show you how together we can start, easily going into Shopify and adjusting the file names. But I want to make sure that this isn't too crazy, because we can definitely touch on that another time and when we have all of our computers in front of us.
Well, let me give them instructions now so that when they rewatch this, they can always do it.
Okay. Yep. Perfect.
So if you'll click me back one slide real fast, I'll give them a real quick set of instructions for that title and meta description that you see right there. So in the back end of your Shopify stores, Sean, you'll see this when you have one. Suzanne, you can find this at any time. Once you open it, you'll see home, orders, products right up at the top left. If you click on that online store sales channel that you see right there, it'll expand that menu that says themes, blog post pages.
Okay.
So when you click on preferences, this little thing on the right comes up and you'll see title and meta description, and it'll say homepage title and it'll say homepage meta description. So your homepage title is the name of your business, and the homepage meta description is that little brief description that I talked about 2 minutes ago or whatever it was, where it's, helping small business develop their online presence through strong modern websites and clear branding. You can literally see it in the screenshot above underneath my business URL, actually. So that's how it shows up. So you definitely want to input that, and you can follow those instructions I just gave you to write that in at any time.
Okay.
Yeah, do you see where she has that? It's right under her website. I love how this is right in front of us.
I do too. That was a very convenient. I started reading it halfway through.
So this is so important, is because people are searching their branded or business developing online presence. See how she has that phrase? That's what she means by keywords and key phrases, is that when somebody types it into Google, it's going to find this beautiful description that they put here in the homepage meta description. So now we're starting to be relevant. Yes.
Will you, Nicole, will you be doing that for us, or do we need to do this on our own?
I think I filled it. If you gave me like a little slogan, I put it in there. But these tips are more for if you ever adjust it in the future.
Okay.
So your site will come preloaded with this information filled out, but for when you want to change it or you find out that you have more things to say or different keywords, you can actually go ahead and switch that.
Okay.
Right.
Okay, Dana, can you click me to not the
Yep.
next slide, but the slide after that?
Yep. Okay.
Perfect. Okay, so again, real quick, short instructions on how to do this because you can always go back and watch this later. This is the image alt text that we talked about, so naming your photo something other than IMG2506. You can do this with all of the images on your site, in your products, or on the actual front end homepage customizer. You can go in and you can edit an image and type in that little white field. You see where it says image alt text, type a description of the image and then click that save button.
So tell me again where I find that.
So in the back end of your site, you go to products, or you
Product.
can go to online store, and
Okay.
in products, to customize it, you just edit an already existing item and you click on the photos that you have uploaded for that item.
Okay.
And you edit those. Again, click edit, and then this exact thing will come up. It'll say edit image, and then it'll have this exact box.
Okay.
And for the online store, it looks exactly the same. You can get into any of the content sections that are modular. You can edit them, and then you just click on edit the image, and this comes up again. So don't be overwhelmed right now. Again, you can go back through and watch this as slowly as you want.
Okay.
And if you have any problems finding it, you can shoot me a DM.
Yeah, we're here for that, of course.
Okay, Dana, I think you can click me to the next one here.
And that was that's great to just, again, every 6 months, just go in any new images and just kind of update it.
Yes.
All right.
Okay, perfect.
We're getting a little John Travolta here.
Yeah. Staying alive. All right. So CEO time, my favorite thing to talk about.
Okay, we're going to have fun now because this is like not so technical. It's more of like the, if everyone takes a deep breath, right?
Yeah.
Like
this is not technical at all.
Save us. Yeah, this is what's going to really save us in our business from freaking out, getting information overload, and also just feeling overwhelmed by the things that we're not doing. Because we can run the world through our business, but we got to take it one step at a time.
Yeah. So CEO time is something that I used to hear, a year ago when I started my business, and I was like, I don't know what the crap that is. I don't have time for CEO time. I'm so busy doing so many other things. I don't know what it is, but I probably don't have time for it. So I was like, nah, ignore that. And then 6 months ago, I started implementing some systems into my business so that I could keep my head from spinning off and shooting into the atmosphere. And one of those systems that I implemented was the blessed CEO time. And CEO time is awesome because every Monday I don't accept any calls, and I usually don't work on any websites on Mondays. Instead, I sit down and I take the whole day and I figure out where I'm going with my business. What are some new things that I've learned recently that I could maybe try to figure out how I want to implement? Do I want to make any tweaks to my website? Am I sending out an email today? So basically, CEO time is dedicated time during the week where you focus on your own business. You're not focusing on your clients. You're not focusing on the things that you're making or your products. You're not trying to communicate with anybody else. You're just focusing on you and your business and where you're going and your strategy for growth and your scale. And it just gives you this feeling of like, I'm really working on myself and my business. I'm not just barely keeping my head above water. I'm getting ahead of the crazy, basically, and kind of digesting and contemplating all of these things that I've learned. So CEO time is like, it's crucial. I really strongly recommend trying to do this in your business as much as humanly possible, because it makes it so that you're not just kind of, like I said, staying alive with like your head barely above water. You're actually really trying to continue building your business and continue to stay ahead of the curve. So it's really, really important. And it's something that, just pick a day during the week or maybe every other week, whenever you have time, set it aside and make a promise to yourself that you keep, where you're not like, oh, I'll just do this one little thing on Monday. No, stick to your gun, time in business, and make that time for yourself, because it's really crucial.
Now, Nicole, would that be like the time where we would work on these things that we've been talking about as far as changes to the website? And
yes, 100%, because it gives you a dedicated day where you can say, all right, I'm going to go into my office today and I'm going to watch this webinar again. And today I'm going to figure out how to rename all of the images on my website. And you just get to do that day. You don't have to worry about anything else or feel like you owe somebody something. This is your time.
Yeah. And sometimes it's just a time that you can be a visionary, because we are all in charge of our business and our business's growth. And if we're constantly like running the hamster wheel and being everyone's like freelancer, we're never really our own entrepreneur and our own like leader. So it's your time too to explore what you really want and what your vision is for, say, 5 years or 10 years from now. And what does it all look like? Maybe it's that time to start incorporating what charity you want to start to donate to in your business, and you feel like there's something you want to contribute more to. And it's doing that research and sitting down and putting those pieces together. So I highly recommend it. So I guess to kind of echo, or Nicole, do you want to keep going with this? I think you're doing a great job.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm sure you'll have more to add to this as well. But basically, like we had just talked about, where your CEO time could be time for you to go in and say, hey, I'm gonna fix all my image alt tags today. It's time where you go into your website, you update your copy with the most recent thing. Maybe you've discovered a new way to talk about your business and you want to put that online. Switching out some photos for something more modern or newer, that you maybe have a new light box for your products. Maybe it's the holiday season and you're photographing with pumpkins or snow or whatever you've got. Just basically using that CEO time to keep your website up to date, because your website, again, like we talked about at the very beginning of this, is your most important marketing tool, advertising tool, portfolio tool, touch point for your customers. Your website does so many different things. It's really important to have that time to set aside and really look at it and focus on it and make sure that it is putting the best foot forward of your brand, and not just kind of, maybe you updated it 8 months ago and since then it's been hanging out.
Yeah. All right. That's exactly what you're talking about. It's just making sure that every 6 months, whatever you've been working on, it looks like you've been working on stuff for 6 months now. Like, oh, we launched last year and our website's up. And again, for you, Sean, it's like once you launch, putting together this like system in place, or this little carved out time on your calendar where you're going to make a commitment to yourself that you're going to be updating this. That's just a really great best practice before you start to get overwhelmed on, okay, now I have a website. What do I do with it? How do I use it? It's kind of taking a little stand and saying, here's our checklist now on what you need to do. And that's going to be enough for you right now. And that's great.
Mm-hmm.
And so this stuff is like what's changed. Because I will say this, I can speak for myself, and maybe Nicole, you can speak for yourself too, but every 6 months I outgrow myself and I outgrow the next thing. And because I get that CEO time, I'm able to vision what's my next step. And I've already, have done so much. And when we say that our website gets stale and old, it's because we become a new business every day we wake up and we try for something new and we go after new projects. So we're new every single day. And that's the beauty of being an entrepreneur, is that every day we get to create something brand new that no one's ever created or paved a way for. So let's reflect on that, and let's also catch our websites up to that level that we're at.
Yeah, and I definitely want to say too, for Suzanne and Sean, imagine the type of jewelry that you were making when you first started. And now, hold up that first piece compared to the type of jewelry you're making now, and it will immediately illustrate the point that we're making.
Okay.
You've come a long way from when you first started, unless you were the jewelry master.
Yeah.
In which case, maybe you were amazing all along. But yeah, this idea is that even if your CEO time is not specifically dedicated to your website, at least once every 6 months, go in there and make sure that you're caught up with your latest style. Make sure that you are reflecting your most recent products and your most recent type of photography, your most recent names for your items, whatever it is, because I think it's very clear to see, especially in jewelry making, when you compare older pieces to your new current pieces, the growth, the change that happens. And Sean, you'll probably see this really clearly as well when you launch your website. 6 months from the launch date, you might be making a totally different type of jewelry. You might have found a niche in your jewelry making that you really love. I know you make these beautiful nature-inspired pieces. And Suzanne, I absolutely love your Tough Girls collection and the message behind that.
Aww.
So,
Thank you.
just kind of taking a moment to reflect on that, and then making sure that it is illustrated on your website and that it stays up to date. If you release a new collection, that on, don't that just be a social media thing. Get it on your website, show that off. So
It's a great point.
yeah, that's a good allegory for you guys in your exact business. And I happen to know a lot about what you're doing, so I have an advantage there.
Yeah. Are we excited about CEO time? Because this is totally something that we can give ourselves permission to do.
I always thought of it as like nourishing a baby. Your business is like your baby.
Yes.
That's what that reminds me of, giving it its own time.
Yes, absolutely.
You guys are like
baby
speakers. This is wonderful.
Yay! And
I'm
you know
really
what?
glad.
It doesn't have to, and I'm just inviting this to you too, is it doesn't have to end here. Like, I think that the CEO journey can be so lonely, and it can feel so defeating sometimes because we lose sense of what really excites us and what really keeps our motor going when we have tons and tons of requests and work and jobs, and when we're busy, it's almost like that's when we're most depressed, but we're like, we asked for this, now we wanted it. But it's like, we have to celebrate. And that's why I said, like, let's bring something fun to this meeting and just hang out as women who are empowering women to just like, let's make this the most fun and exciting and easy to manage thing ever. Because we make it hard on ourselves running a business. Like, if we're not implementing and incorporating the things that are amazing, like CEO time, or I'm trying to do like Nicole, Mondays are my date days. I take myself out on a date because I know I work very hard, and I'm working all day Saturday. I'm working all day Sunday. So Monday is like when everyone's catching up on their emails and stuff. And I'm like, I'm going to take a walk in the park or taking myself out for ice cream like Sean just did. It's like, that is what we are in business for, is to live a more enjoyable and free life. So you deserve it. Give yourself that. That's amazing. All right.
Preach yourself.
We are kind of, I know we're almost done, so bear with us just a little bit longer. We're just going to kind of recap and share. So just to my point is, like, you guys made it here tonight. You took a step to learn more and grow and empower yourself to do that next level, and that next level step in your business, whatever it may be. And learning all these things is sometimes overwhelming, and we get that. But look at what we just did. We learned 4 key facts and key pieces that we know are going to be tried, and they're true, and they're going to work for you, because we're not going to just spew a bunch of useless information at you and say, good luck, go get them, Tiger. But it's like, we really think that making these little conscious efforts to just tweak it. And if you just need to do a little bit more than you did yesterday, that's kind of my mantra, is that, change one picture at a time, change one link at a time, go back and simplify, your life just one CEO day at a time. And that is making progress, and that is being successful. So what we talked about today was really just to kind of give you a wholesome look at how the website really is going to work, between making sure your call to actions are clear, making sure, everything that you're doing is just refreshed. That's really all we're saying, is that just keep these really key important things up to date and give yourself that time and space to do it. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
How did we feel? I mean, let's hear some of your takeaways and breakthroughs. Did anyone have an aha moment during this whole gathering tonight?
I'm feeling empowered.
That was one of our main goals. Like Dana and I talked about it. It wasn't like a goal of the workshop that we publicly put on the slides, but she and I were like, we really want to empower these business owners to feel like they can do this themselves and like they've got this. So to hear you say that is very gratifying.
Yeah, like I have a little mini plan to get me, started in the process. And so that's very exciting.
I love that. That makes my day, honestly, to hear that. That's great. Thank you.
Well, can you just spend like 10 seconds? What is that plan? I want to hear it.
What is the plan? I'm going to start with my picture, my alt.
Mm-hmm.
I can't tell you exactly what that is because
your alt tags, yeah.
Yes.
Love it. You got it. You got it.
And then I want to learn how to link. I've been hearing this since I've been in business. Link back to your website. Link. I have no clue how to do that or what that means. Or so.
Okay.
That's on my path.
Love it.
That's a great path to be on. What about you, Sean? How are you feeling?
Yeah, Sean, what are you feeling?
I'm feeling very encouraged, and it's just nice to hear that other people are experiencing, the same exact things. So it's just very encouraging. So, and I understood. I just wanted to tell Suzanne that it will make sense. I understand where you're at because I was there about a year ago, and it won't be as overwhelming whenever you continue to learn stuff. It is overwhelming at first though, but yeah.
Sean, what's your call to action? I want to hear your plan.
Just try to organize all my pictures, and then once the website gets up and over it, continuing to upload stuff to Facebook and Instagram. I'll also try to link stuff from my Facebook to my website.
Yep.
And just doing more research on all that stuff.
Yeah. And, I will open it up when you said social media. I have accountability days that I open to anyone who wants to join, who wants to work on their social media plan and ask questions. So I keep that very just pop on when you have a moment. It's called my do shops. Like not workshops, but do shops. So we're just sitting there doing the work and I'm there doing it with you because I need my social media written. I need my website updated. I need my emails to go out. So instead of doing it in isolation, I'm like, let's just all do it together and be on Zoom and be there if we have questions. So opening that up for all of you guys, if you... Yeah, because it can be, again, I hate being alone. I'm a very much so an introvert. I like getting my batteries recharged when I'm by myself. But when I have to go and do fun, exciting, creative things, I like doing it with a team and with people. And it's just me on these four walls sometimes, and I hate that. So let's be here for each other. I think that's really a biggest offer that I can give.
That's great.
I love that. Okay, cool.
And I wanted to say one other thing to you guys, because you talked about, Sean talked about it's good to hear that, we as business owners have all been through the same kind of thing. And, Dana and I, a year and some change ago now, like a year and a half, launched our two businesses at very similar times. I think she was a little bit ahead of me. So she launched the marketing brand at the same time I was launching Bear Branded. And so she had a lot of amazing experience because she'd been a CEO of her photography business before. I didn't know what the heck I was doing though. So we went through this interesting thing where we were side by side in a lot of these tasks that come with starting a business. And, I can't speak for Dana. Maybe she was a little bit more prepared than I was, but I had no idea what was going on. 80% of the time I was flying by the seat of my pants, trying to figure it out, learning how to run a business, how to be a CEO, how to communicate with clients, how to be on social media, how my website worked, what my offerings were, adjusting that, figuring out who the clients were that I really wanted to work with, updating my website again, updating my website again. So we all
and
went
we're
through
going to
this
be
journey.
doing that again too. You know what
Yes.
the thing is though, let me add to that is, Nicole, what have we done for almost a year is that every single Tuesday we jump on the phone and we spend 45 minutes together and we just said, what's going on? What's new? What are you stuck on? How can I help? And
what are we celebrating too?
Yeah. And like, let's
that's good.
talk about the things. So if you can find even with each other, an accountability partner and somebody who can be like 10 levels up from you or just one step, you know, above or below you, where you guys can just support each other. This community of, you know, our technology of having Zoom and our websites and everything to link together. I mean, we turned in what could have been a really lonely place and we would have been probably like a million miles behind. But because we're doing this together and there's no competition, we're always finding ways that we can collaborate, like this workshop tonight. Yeah. We're just being 100% honest and kind of behind the scenes right now is that we're doing this because, you know, we see the power in numbers and the power of community. And there's nothing more enriching for our souls and for our businesses than to just like 10 times whatever we're doing because we get to do it together.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so nice.
Yeah. So find a buddy, use the buddy system and even use FaceTime or something and keep in touch with them and say, hey, did you do your social media this week? Hey, did you make a new piece this week? How's it going? You know, just check in.
Great.
Yeah, and I have a Facebook group called Your Responsible Business. So it's one on LinkedIn too. So if you want to join my group, you can bring up these topics and even ask for an accountability buddy, like literally say, I'm looking for an accountability buddy. There is somebody looking for a buddy just like you too. So that is something that I would love for you to ask. And one thing on that is like, whatever you want in your business, you don't know until you ask. Just ask for what you need because there's always someone ready to help you. And especially women, we love lifting each other up and helping one another. So as long as you're just every week, you ask yourself, what do I need? What do I need now? Put that out there. Let that be public. People, you will be amazed at the support that this community will be able to provide for you. So then you can really rocket your business even further.
And what is it called?
Awesome.
It's called Your Responsible Business on Facebook.
Okay.
Yep.
Dana, you have their emails, so you can probably send them an invite. Yeah.
Yep. I'll invite you there. So these are our fun little logos. We want you to get to know us. We want you to talk with us. I mean, we're here, like I said, not because we're 10 million steps ahead of you. We're probably just one, and you're probably 10 steps ahead of us in something else too. So I invite you all to, I know Nicole and I have a couple offers for you if you feel like you're like, great, you guys are the implementers, now help us implement. Like if you need marketing strategy help, that's what I'm here for. And Nicole obviously you've seen her work, she will get through anything complicated you'd ever want in your website kind of adventures. So I just want us to be your partners in this because we are all in this together and we want to be your expert partners in these topics. All right, let's go hang out. This is an amazing time. If you guys have any other remarks, I'm going to be, you'll see an email from me later tonight that if you want to put any of your testimonials or your breakthroughs or anything, that's going to help us to continue to grow this support group. If we have more of the results and the feedback that you guys have for us. So if you can fill that out, that's only going to help us grow our community so we can collaborate even more together and we can advertise that and market it. You know how that is. So we'd really appreciate that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, just let us know what you think, like how you felt, you know, like you mentioned, you felt empowered. Just let us know like what this workshop did for you, basically. That's feedback that Dana and I would love to hear. It's the kind of stuff that we, you know, it makes our days. It makes us super happy to know that we have literally directly impacted someone else's business or someone else's life by giving them these tools and this knowledge. So that is like, we love that. So if you have any thoughts for us, even if you were like, you guys talked way too much, Let us know.
No,
Yes,
really,
please
we
do.
want to know.
Be honest.
We're so
Don't worry.
passionate about this.
Yes.
Well,
we both take criticism well. So don't be afraid to also say, like, you know, I missed some points here or there. You know, like Suzanne was talking about, I intend to go back and watch this a couple times to make sure I'm digesting everything. Just be honest. Just let us know how it was.
awesome.
Great.
Well, we wish you guys a great evening, and we are here when you need us. And we hope that you continue to reach out for more support, more workshops, and do shops. So
I have one more question. How do we re-access this?
yep. So I'm going to be sending the recording and the slides to you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Great.
so you get it in your
Great
email and it'll be a
question.
link. Yeah, to watch
Okay.
the recording or to check out the slides. And,
Gotcha.
you know, from there, Dana and I are both always accessible to either of you guys
Yep.
for any questions that you have specifically about this or otherwise.
Yay.
All right.
Yeah, thank you ladies so
right.
much for tuning
Yes,
in.
thank
You know, I
you.
really appreciate you guys for both attending. It was awesome to be able to
Great
give you this
info.
information. I hope you learned, yeah, I'm hoping you learned a lot. So again, thank you for choosing to spend time with us tonight, and happy almost Friday.
Yay!
Yay!
All right.
Night, ladies.
Good night, friends. Good night.
Good night, you
Bye.
guys.
Bye.